Well, you know what? Coral snakes are a species of snake that actually look quite similar to these guys. But you see, there's a neat little pattern with coral snakes where it's the red, black, and yellow. And you see, with milk snakes, they look quite similar to them with a couple of different species. But you see, what happens is clearly this guy isn't orange, black, or yellow. Sorry, black and yellow, or anything like that. See, so what happens is with that venomous species of coral snake, sometimes it's very hard to tell which is which. But in this case, that stereotype doesn't work with these guys. And these guys can make great pets as well. So they grow up to around 4 or 5 feet long, so nothing too big. And you can feed these guys rodents, birds, and if you can come across a dead snake, sure, I mean, you can feed that to these guys as well. Awesome. So these guys can make great pets if you want to try and have a first-time pet or anything like that. These guys will usually eat around every other week or so they don't have to eat too often as much as like a dog or a cat. So yeah, these guys are pretty awesome pets, and they're very docile as well. So this is as much as these guys move around, really. Awesome. Does anyone here have any questions before I put this guy back? No? Well, you know what? I'm going to put this guy back. So everyone say bye to Halloween. Awesome. All right, I'm going to put this guy back. Give me a quick second. Oh, the lifespan for these guys? Usually these guys will live up to around 15 to 20 years or so. So nothing too long, but these guys do have a good lifespan on them, yeah. Pardon me? A lot of the animals here are actually donated to us, so we're not entirely sure of how old these guys are. But a good estimate would be around 5 or 6 years old. So we still got a lot of growing to do. Yeah, definitely. All right, awesome. Thank you for that question. Alrighty, so this guy here is a rainbow boa. You can find these guys in South America as well. And you see, these guys are really awesome. You see that nice shine on their scale? See how they kind of have that rainbowy color to them? Well, you see, with a lot of animals, that's called iridescence. And that means that with their scales and with a lot of hairs and feathers, they actually reflect in the sunlight. So what happens is they give off a really neat rainbowy color. We have this in our hair. We have this in our hair as well. And with a lot of insects, fish, birds, they all have this cool little iridescence. Pretty awesome, huh? Awesome. Well, you know what? Do you guys see his tongue? Can anyone tell me what he's using that tongue for? Any ideas? Exactly. Well, you know what? This guy is using it for smell. You see, he has nostrils like we do. Sorry, I'm not used to using this. So these guys do have nostrils like we do, and they do breathe through their nose. But the thing is, they use their tongue to help smell their environment. So what happens is, if you guys look really closely, you'll see that it's kind of hard to do it with him like this, but you'll see that he's got kind of like a forked tongue. So this helps him taste the air around him, grabbing all the little particles in the air, and he'll bring it back into his mouth, and he's got an organ on the roof of his mouth called a Jacobson organ. And that'll help that'll send messages to his brain to tell him what's in his environment. So this helps him look for food. This also helps to find where predators are. It also helps to find where a good place to hide is. Awesome. So, like all boa constrictors, these guys are constrictors, so they do squeeze their prey to death. So these guys don't use venom or anything like that at all. as well, these guys also make really neat pets as well. But see, the thing is, depending on where you live in Canada, it does vary if these guys are legal to own or not. So you do have, if you guys are interested in getting like a boa constrictor or a python or anything like that, you do have to check your bylaws in your town just to make sure that these guys aren't illegal. A good example is Brampton. You're not allowed to own any boas or pythons in Brampton, for instance. Pretty awesome, huh? Awesome. So does anyone have any questions before I put this guy back? Oh, actually, sorry, I just thought of something really neat. So, I can't really show you guys, but with a lot of boas, they have two little spurs right beside where their butt is. So it's kind of hard to show off just because he's wrapped around my hand. But they have two little fingers at the base of their tail. And you know what? With all snakes, they did derive from lizards way back when. So a couple million years ago, these guys were actually lizards. And over evolution, they actually started, these guys, if they want to get like a nice girlfriend or if they want to mate with someone else, the males will actually use their fingers to actually Awesome. And if you guys also notice, if you look on the side of his face, see those little pits? He's got little holes on the side of his mouth. All right, we're not going to get too close, guys, but you see those holes right there? Those are called heat pits, and that helps sense his environment. Well, you know what? These guys aren't really pit vipers. Vipers are in their own category of snakes, but I believe some vipers do actually have heat pits as well. So this helps kind of sense their environment to tell what's hot and what's cold. So with all snakes, these guys will only eat live animals. So here at Reptilia, we feed these guys dead animals. So what we do, we heat them up in water or under a hot lamp to help trick them into thinking that the animal's alive when they're actually not. So, like I said, these guys will only eat live animals. So they sense the heat coming off of the animal, just so he can tell if it's alive and if he wants to eat it or not. And a lot of different snakes have this little feature as well. Cool. Awesome. And mind you, oh yeah, what's up, buddy? Pardon me? Why do snakes stay in trees? Well, you know what? Not all snakes can climb trees. Well, you know what? You see this guy right now? He's kind of wrapped around my hand. And a lot of people think that this guy might be constricting me or trying to hurt me, but that's not the case. You see, these guys are very good climbers, and that's also known as being arboreal. So that means they're very good at climbing trees and being in high places. So with this species, they use their big muscular bodies just to wrap around like tree branches and stuff like that, and it helps anchor himself down and hold tight so he's not, so he won't fall off. So right now, I'm kind of his tree for him. Also, with reptiles, they're cold-blooded, so they can't generate their own body heat. So right now, what he's doing, he's using my body heat to help warm up his body so he can help digest his food and grow big and stronger as well. All right, guys. So you know what? I'm going to put this pretty bracelet away, and I'm going to bring out my next awesome animal, all right? Cool, cool, cool. How long do these guys grow? They'll grow up to around 6 to 7 feet long or so, so nothing too big. So they'll grow up to a nice, decent size. I'm not sure with Toronto. I think so. With Toronto, they do get up to like a 9-foot point or something like that. Something like that, yeah. 3 meters, 9 feet, yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to put this guy back. Alrighty, guys. So this is our last animal of our show for today. And this guy here is a Cuvier's dwarf caiman. And you can find these guys in South America. We kind of have a very South American-y show today. So What's really neat about these guys aren't the largest species of crocodilians in the world. Actually, if you head over there to the close to where our RV is, they actually have a larger version of these guys just close by at Little Ray's reptile. Pretty awesome, huh? So these guys are crocodilians, so they are related to alligators, crocodiles, gharials, but this guy here is a caiman, so they're more closely related to alligators. To kind of help you guys, this is they're more closely related to alligators than anything else. Exactly, they are crocodilians. And what's also really cool about these guys, with crocodiles, they have the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom. Their bite force will range from 3,000 to 6,000 pounds of force. So that's like a small truck falling on you. Pretty cool, huh? Even in a small guy like this guy can probably have a bite force up to around 900 to 2,000 pounds of force. So, you guys are also probably wondering, why is this guy's mouth taped shut? Well, you know what? These guys are still pretty young, and they're not used to being seen by so many people, right? So, for our safety and for theirs, we try and keep their mouths taped shut, just so no one gets hurt, or so these guys don't get hurt. Awesome. You see those big plates on the back of his body? Those are called osteoderms. And you see, oh, hold on, buddy. So those are called osteoderms, and that helps absorb sunlight. So this helps them warm up their bodies, and this helps them move around a lot faster. And what's also cool about those osteoderms, there's a thin plate of bone underneath. So they actually have a form of armor on their back. Cool. And as well, with all crocodilians, they also have a third eyelid. So you know how we have the two eyelids that we blink with? Well, you know what? They have a third one that cuts across their eye, and it's see-through. So this acts as like a pair of goggles for these guys when they're swimming underwater and when they're looking for food. And with these guys, since they grow up to around 6 feet, 7 feet long or so, they do have a wide variety of a diet. So these guys will like to eat snakes, lizards, birds. They'll also love to eat bats as well. So really anything that can fit in these guys' mouth, they'll go for it. Has anyone ever heard of a capybara? They're the largest species of rodent in the world. And these guys also love to eat capybaras as well. Pretty neat, huh? And if you guys notice, their eyes are located close to the top of their head. Sure. This helps, no problem. So this helps them see over the water. So when these guys are stalking for prey or when they're looking for food, no worries. These guys will just have their eyes and nose just above the water, so they're able to scan their environment and look for their food. Also helps look for danger as well. No problem. So these guys are one of the top predators in South America, and very few species of animals actually try and eat these guys. The only animal that can actually tackle a caiman or a crocodilian in South America is probably a jaguar. How old is he? Well, like I mentioned before, a lot of the animals here are donated to us. So we're not precisely sure of when these guys were born, but a good estimate for this guy here would be around 3 or 4 years old. So he's still got a lot of growing to do. And with crocodilians, they actually have a very long lifespan as well. They'll grow up to around 75 to 80 years. And there have been some crocodiles in Africa that have actually been grown to over 120 years. So it really depends on how well they're eating. Awesome. Well, you know what? This is our end of our show for today, but I will be answering questions after our show, and you guys are able to pet these guys afterwards. So if you guys want to come and talk to me afterwards, that'd be great. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Awesome. Thank you very much.